How's it going, everyone? I got a request to dive into my Warden's gear. So I'm going to jump into that real quick. My helmet is mainly just the full revenge duration, just in case I end up needing it. Playing 4 versus 4, I'd prefer to have the full thing. And then I went with debuff resistance for the Orochi or the Berserker. They drop one drops a flag, the other one, the Orochi, just uses the circle around him, which can be pretty devastating, so I decided to go with that as my backup. And so long as you understand how much, stamina and everything you have, it's not that big of an issue if you're going to get close to running out. Now, in addition, I also have this one that has max that I used to use. It's still, very effective, but if I'm going into a 4 versus 4, I'm going to use that, and 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, doesn't really matter. Moving on to the chest plate, I have full block damage, which you can easily change out, and then sprint speed. You can easily change them out. A couple of my other characters, I'm starting to go with the execution health, because I find it to be really useful. Once you go into revenge mode, you're guaranteed, most of the time, you're guaranteed the execution unless they guard break you off. But if there's 3 or 4 people all hitting you at once, they're not going to get a chance most of the time. So it's nice to get a ton of health back. Most people are going to be running the block resistance, so I'd be a little careful on going full block damage like I currently have. I just didn't want to spend more parts and all that since I'm trying to get all my characters up, but that is an option. Moving on to the arms, I have the block damage resistance completely up, just like I said most people would be doing. Revive speed, I don't really see much of a need for that. I mean, if you're going to go for a res most of the time, you're going to be perfectly fine unless you're using a defensive character like a Conqueror. The other one I'm going into is a stamina regen. Now, obviously, you can flip-flop those if you really want to. Go full stamina regen and have the added bonus of getting more stamina quickly. That way, if you get close to running out, you're going to get it faster. That way, you don't have to deal with that really slow exhaustion time that I have on my armor. Then moving to the blade, I have full defense because I find defense to be much more helpful than attack, especially on a 4 versus 4. You could go full attack. Stamina cost isn't that big of an issue, honestly. Once you play with the character more, it's not a big issue. Before I started doing the defense, really going around revenge, which the new patch has kind of destroyed revenge, but it still can be useful if you've built your character correctly. I used to have max attack and decent stamina cost reduction, which, I mean, you could keep hitting people, you could get them in the vortex forever, but most players can get out of the vortex now, so long as you're good with dealing with your stamina, that shouldn't be an issue. And I'm not sure if you'd want almost no defense, because you can get hit so hard from a lot of characters, like the Shigoki. If you hit him and while he's going into revenge, he knocks you down, you're a one hit. Most of the time, you're going to get a one hit. So long as my defense is maxed as is, most of the time I can survive a charged heavy. And then for my hilt, I don't have any feet cooldown, mainly because I was using a revenge build. And the feats I use are the healing, catapult, and stuff like that, so most of the time catapult's not that useful, most people can get out of it. The healing is useful, but how quickly do you need that to cool down? If you have good defense, you don't need it. Now you can vary these. As you can see here, I have these two varied. When I was first starting as Warden, I had the revenge gained by defense on this one here. And that's good to start training to get your defense and all of that kind of stuff. And once you feel more comfortable being able to parry and defend yourself in a 1v2, 1v3 situation, then you can move over to this, because once you go into revenge, you want as much defense as possible. That way you can actually deal damage and not get just completely destroyed in the process. Obviously, there are certain things you can't bypass with this, but that's what I'm running on this. And then for my hilt, I don't care about throw distance, so I just went full attack and decent revenge gained by injury. I mean, if you're playing defensive, you don't really need that all that much, and it doesn't stack like it used to, so I only am really using that stat for a 1 versus 2 when one's behind you, one's in front of you. So that's what I have, but I just really don't see throw distance helping Warden very much, especially when he already has a shoulder bash. I don't see why you would need throw distance, because if you hit him, you can get a heavy guaranteed so long as you fully charge it. So that's what I currently have going. He also asked if I could look at my patterns. On this one, I don't really have a pattern. A couple of my other ones, I have a few. But the video that he asked me to do it for, I had the... Let's go to the back. If you get the mythic outfit for the character, it would be this, the ring mail. That's what I was wearing with the... It was white. So if you go with the white here, let's see which one it was. I think this is it. And that's what I had in the video. And then I had the silver armor. That way I looked a bit lighter. Obviously you can do this kind of stuff, but I just kind of have the basic thing going right now with this. Because it looks nice, and I don't like the crazy stuff that goes on. So I hope this helps in terms of you trying to figure out what you're trying to do with your character. And if you need any other information, please just let me know and I will throw that into a video as well. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.